No alcohol, sausages, or porn at the 2022 World Cup, the German embassy's guide for its supporters, warning of prohibited behavior in the country. With the arrival of the first fans in Qatar to experience the 2022 World Cup, which starts Sunday, November 20th, the first concerns about how different the experience will be compared to previous World Cups have also surfaced. There is also a degree of fear regarding the strict rules of behavior demanded by the Qatari authorities, different from those in the West, which create uncertainty among the fans who will flood to Qatar from different parts of the world. The German embassy in Doha has published on its website a handbook entitled Useful Information for Visitors to the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar, which, we understand, can be extended to visitors from other parts of the world. In a section called Rules of Conduct and Recommendations, fans are encouraged to avoid public displays of affection, regardless of sexual orientation, and that use of obscene language or gestures may be an offense punishable by imprisonment or fine. Drunkenness is prohibited. It also warns about items that should not be brought into the country. Religion dictates. The importation of alcohol and pornographic material, as well as religious books, is prohibited. The importation of pork food is also not allowed. Drug trafficking can carry the death penalty. And, on a more serious note and affecting the freedom of LGBTQIA+ people, it states that criminal law in Qatar is shaped by religious moral concepts. The traveler should be aware that same-sex relations and extramarital sex are forbidden and subject to criminal prosecution. It also warns of the usual mode of driving in Qatar and the high number of fatal road accidents. Be careful when driving in Doha. The number of fatalities is high. When road conditions are good, road traffic is characterized by high speeds, often risky driving behavior, and many accidents. In case of an accident, it is forbidden to leave the scene of the accident until the police arrive and allow you to do so. Sale of beer with alcohol banned at FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 stadiums. Champagne, wine, whiskey, and other alcohol is still expected to be served in the luxury hospitality areas of the stadium. The sale of all beer with alcohol at the 8 World Cup stadiums was banned Friday, only 2 days before the soccer tournament is set to start. Non-alcoholic beer will still be sold at the 64 matches in the country. Following discussions between host country authorities and FIFA, a decision has been made to focus the sale of alcoholic beverages on the FIFA Fan Festival, other fan destinations, and licensed venues, removing sales points of beer from stadium perimeters, FIFA said in a statement. Champagne, wine, whiskey, and other alcohol is still expected to be served in the luxury hospitality areas of the stadium. Outside of those places, beer is normally the only alcohol sold to regular ticket holders. AB InBev, the parent company of World Cup beer sponsor Budweiser, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. AB InBev pays tens of millions of dollars at each World Cup for exclusive rights to sell beer, and has already shipped the majority of its stock from Britain to Qatar in expectation of selling its product to millions of fans. The company's partnership with FIFA started at the 1986 tournament, and they are in negotiations for renewing their deal for the next World Cup in North America. While a sudden decision like this may seem extreme in the West, Qatar is an autocracy governed by a hereditary emir, who has absolute say over all governmental decisions. Qatar, an energy-rich Gulf Arab country, follows an ultra-conservative form of Islam known as Wahhabism like neighboring Saudi Arabia. However, alcohol sales have been permitted in hotel bars for years. Qatar's government and its Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Already, the tournament has seen Qatar change the date of the opening match only weeks before the World Cup began. When Qatar launched its bid to host the World Cup, the country agreed to FIFA's requirements of selling alcohol in stadiums, and again when signing contracts after winning the vote in 2010. At the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, the host country was forced to change a law to allow alcohol sales in stadiums. Ronan Avane, the executive director of the fan group Football Supporters Europe, called the decision to ban beer sales at the stadiums in Qatar extremely worrying. For many fans, whether they don't drink alcohol or are used to dry stadium policies at home, this is a detail. It won't change their tournament, Avane wrote on Twitter. But with 48 to go, we've clearly entered a dangerous territory, where assurances don't matter anymore. AB InBev's deal with FIFA was renewed in 2011 after Qatar was picked as host, in a 2-tournament package through 2022. However, the Belgium-based brewer has faced uncertainty in recent months on the exact details of where it can serve and sell beer in Qatar. An agreement was announced in September for beer with alcohol to be sold within the stadium perimeters before and after games. Only alcohol-free Bud Zero would be sold in the stadium concourses for fans to drink in their seats in branded cups. Last weekend, AB InBev was left surprised by a new policy insisted on by Qatari organizers to move beer stalls to less visible locations within the perimeter. Budweiser was also to be sold in the evenings only at the official FIFA fan zone in downtown Al Bida Park, where up to 40,000 fans can gather to watch games on giant screens. The price was confirmed as $14 for a beer. The company will be based at an upscale hotel in the West Bay area of Doha with its own branded nightclub for the tournament. At the W Hotel in Doha, workers continued putting together a Budweiser-themed bar planned at the site. Its familiar AB logo was plastered on columns and walls at the hotel, with one reading, "The world is yours to take."